This video is called What is Section 10? Now, people often ring up and ask me or another lawyer here, what is Section 10? I've heard about Section 10. Does this mean you get off a charge? How do I get a Section 10? And things of that sort. Section 10 is really the holy grail of results if you plead guilty to any type of criminal offence, including drink driving, so a major traffic offence, or an assault, or a more serious type of an offence. Section 10 is actually Section 10 of the Crimes Sentencing Procedure Act 1999. So it's a particular section of the law, of course. And what it says is that the magistrate or the judge can decide that you don't have a criminal conviction, that you don't have a licence disqualification, and you don't get a fine, even though you're guilty of a criminal offence. So again, it's a very, very important thing to work towards when you have a criminal or major traffic case. What Section 10 actually says is that the magistrate or the judge can take into consideration a person's character, their criminal history, their age, their health, in deciding whether to deal with them without a criminal conviction. The other thing that the magistrate or the judge will look at is whether the offence is what's called a trivial offence, so an offence that's not that serious. However, it's very important to know that just because an offence is not trivial, it does not mean that you can't get a Section 10. You can still get a Section 10 even if the offence is a reasonably serious offence, as long as the other factors that the magistrate or the judge is having a look at overshadow the fact that it's not a trivial offence. The third thing that the magistrate or judge will have a look at is whether there are any extenuating circumstances to the offence. So really circumstances that explain why the offence occurred, serious types of circumstances. For example, there's one big case whereby there was a domestic assault by a female against the male, and what the male did in response to this assault was very bad. He assaulted the female. However, that was deemed to be an extenuating circumstance, and in combination with the other factors, no previous record, good character, and so on, the judge decided that the person was entitled to get a Section 10, could get a Section 10. The fourth thing that the court will have a look at is whether there are any other relevant matters that may contribute to them exercising their discretion to give you a Section 10. Now, what are other relevant matters? A relevant matter may be that a person needs to stay conviction free for their job or for their future. So, for example, if someone was applying to become a nurse and a criminal conviction for a drug charge, for example, may impede their admission into the registration to be a nurse, then the magistrate or judge could take that into account. Similarly, if someone's going to lose their job if they have a criminal conviction, that may push the person into Section 10 territory. Another factor could be, in licence cases, that the loss of a licence may make someone lose their job. So if a person's a taxi driver, truck driver, courier, something like that, and they will lose their job and they won't be able to pay their mortgage, look after their family, and so on, then the magistrate or judge may use their discretion to give someone a Section 10. Now, Section 10 has three parts. The first is Section 10(1). That is a dismissal. What that means is the person is guilty, but the charges are dismissed. There's no good behaviour bond, there's no anything, because of all those factors that I've spoken of. Of course, that's the best section of Section 10. It's the one that is the most beneficial for people. The second is more common. It's called Section 10(1)(b). It's a good behaviour bonds under Section 10, and it can last up to 2 years. The third section and the least common section that's used is Section 10(1)(c), and that is a provision that says that the magistrate can give you a Section 10, no conviction, no disqualification, no fine, as long as you undertake an intervention program, so like a counselling sort of a program. So now, if you want to go for a Section 10, it's advisable that you see an experienced criminal lawyer, have a look at their track record in these types of cases, in criminal cases, have a look that they've got a high percentage of Section 10s, and then choose the right lawyer for you.